Alright, so today we're going to continue with function notation. And remember that we're going to see f of x. That means the same as y equals. You may see it as g of x, h of x, p of x, anything. This could be any. Letters here. Okay, so the main thing is you need to know when does it want you to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So for addition, it may ask you to do something like f of x plus g of x. It may also have it written as f plus g. It could say f plus g of x. Okay, so any of those are going to tell you it's addition. Basically, what's the symbol here, right? Is there a plus sign? That tells you it's addition. Okay, subtraction is going to be the same way. They could say f of x minus g of x. F minus g, they could say f minus g of x. All kinds of different ways to note it. And it doesn't have to be equation f or equation g. It can be equation h and equation p. Right? So we could do multiplication the same way. They might do f times g. They might do f of x times g of x, f times g of x. They could use this symbol for multiplication. Okay, division. Division's usually going to be written as a fraction. So like f of x over g of x. You're probably not going to see like the division symbol like that. That's probably not likely. But something like this. Now remember, f divided by g of x, that's different than g of x divided by f of x. So anything like that. F over g, g over f. Okay. And again, you don't always have to have f and g. The letters in the front just kind of distinguish between any of your equations, just so you have different letters at the beginning. Because since all these mean, right, y equals, if you had 10 different equations that said y equals, how do you know which one's which? That's why they assign different letters to them, just so they can all be different. Okay, so in this first set of problems, you're going to use these two as our equations. Here's equation f. It's f of x equals x squared plus 2. G of x equals 2x minus 3. So you just look at the symbol. What does it want you to do? This wants you to add. This wants me to subtract. Right? This is also subtraction. Now what's the difference between these two? Well, one is f minus g, the other is g minus f. Okay, what does this symbol mean? That means multiply. Okay, and what does that mean? That means divide. Alright, so now we're going to actually do the operations, which we've done back in Unit 6. Okay, so f of x plus g of x, well, what is equation f? Well, equation f is the x squared plus 2 plus, what's g of x? G of x is 2x minus 3. Okay, so all you're going to do is add. And when you add like terms. So you have an x squared. There's no other x squared. So that's all we have. We have an x. And that's all we have. Nothing in common so far. And then now we do have something in common. We have a 2 and a minus 3. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1. And that's it. So as long as it's all your like terms are combined, then you're all done. This one wants you to now do this exact same thing. We want to take f of x. We want to take g of x, which is 2x minus 3. But instead of adding, now we're subtracting. Okay, now remember what I said. Question 3 is the same thing, except they want you to do it in the other order. Do g of x first, then subtract x squared plus 2. So order does make a difference on these problems. Remember, when you do subtraction, I'll use a different color, we want to distribute our negative sign. So we have negative 2x plus 3. And we just want to combine our like terms now. So x squared minus 2x, and then we have our plus 2 and plus 3, so that's plus 5. All right, and then this one I want to distribute. So I've got 2x minus 3 minus x squared minus 2. So again, you add like terms. So x squared goes first, so we have negative x squared, then we have 2x, and then we have negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. All right, for number 4, we have multiplication. So we want to do equation f times equation g. So when you multiply, you could use the box method if you want. All right, we're going to do x squared plus 2 times 2x minus 3. And we did this a couple chapters ago. So x squared times 2x is 2x cubed. X squared times negative 3 is negative 3x squared. 2 times 2x is 4x, and 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So I'm going to add my like terms. These are not like terms, at least not in this one. Okay, so these are all going to be different. So we have 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x minus 6. All right, usually we have like terms, but see, this was x squared and a 2, not just an x. Sorry if I was off the screen a little bit there. All right, now we're going to divide. So f of x is x squared plus 2, and g of x is 2x minus 3. So on these division problems, typically we're going to just leave them. Later on, when we get to, I think it's unit 9, or no, actually unit 10, then you're going to do some other stuff like factoring. But for now, you probably don't have to do this. If this 2 weren't here, we would do synthetic division. So we'll do that on the next page. All right, so flip over to the other side. All right, so this is just a continuation. Notice now we have different f of x and g of x. Right, here's what we had in the last problem. Those equations, we're not using those anymore. So now they're saying this time f of x is x squared plus 10x plus 21. Here g of x is x plus 7. And then we have this third equation, that's h of x. And that's 4x minus 5. All right, so this time what do they want us to do? They want us to add. Now pay attention, which 2 equations do they want you to add? Equation f, right? Which one's equation f? Plus which one's equation g? So when I look at equation f, you're only looking at that. Here's equation g. So x squared plus 10x plus 21 and x plus 7. If it's addition, I just look for my like terms. So we got x squareds, we have x's, and we have just numbers. So we have x squared plus 11x plus 28. Then they're in descending order, highest exponent to lowest, and we're all done. This one, what does that want us to do? It wants us to subtract. Right? Number 8 is also subtract. All right, but again, you got to pay attention to the order. So h of x minus f of x. So which one's h? We haven't had an h yet. So that's 4x minus 5. We want to subtract equation f, which is this one. So x squared plus 10x plus 21. Once it's set up, once you decipher what the notation's asking you to do, now we already know how to do these problems. So we're just going to distribute our negative sign. Okay, I'm going to bring this down, 4x minus 5. And then I'm going to combine my like terms. So we have x squared, we have some x's, and then we have some numbers. So I have negative x squared. I have 4 minus 10x, that's negative 6x. And negative 5 minus 21 is negative 26. And then I'm all finished. All right, number 8, it's also subtraction, but these are totally different equations. Instead of h and f, they want g and h. Okay, so now we want equation g first, and then equation h second. So equation g is x plus 7. Equation h is 4x minus 5. And now it's just a subtraction problem. So distribute negative 4x, negative times negative is plus 5. All right, now you just look for your like terms. So we've got x minus 4x is negative 3x, and 7 plus 5 is 12. All right, so we have negative 3x plus 12. This one, they want us to do f times h. Oh, I guess I didn't list this as one of our possibilities for multiplication. So if you just write 2 things next to each other with no operation in between, right, that means to multiply. Okay, so f times h, that's multiplication. And what's equation f and what's equation h? So equation f is this one, x squared plus 10x plus 21. Equation H is 4x minus 5. Alright, so we can do the box method again. Alright, we have 4x minus 5 and x squared plus 10x plus 21. Alright, so I'm going to multiply 4x times everything. That's 4x cubed. This gives me 40x squared and 8x. And this is negative 5x squared because negative 5 times everything. Negative 50x and negative 10. Now this time we do have our like terms that can combine in our diagonals. So we have 4x cubed plus 35x squared minus 42x minus 10. Oh, sorry, this says 21. Alright, so this should be 84. Alright, this will be wrong. This is 84x, and this is negative 105. Okay, so we got 4x cubed plus 35x squared. 84 minus 50 is 34. That's better. And negative 105. Sorry about that. Alright, last problem is a division problem. So we have f divided by g. Alright, so make sure you pay attention to what is equation f. That is x squared plus 10x plus 21. Alright, I just got that from up here. And g is x plus 7. Now on this one, we're going to do synthetic division. On our last one, it was hard to do synthetic division because we never did anything where we had a coefficient out in front. So since there's no coefficient here, we're going to use synthetic division. So a good reminder of that from last semester, or earlier in this semester really. We have the opposite of plus 7, so that's minus 7, and I take all my coefficients, 1, 10, and 21. X squared, right, this is x squared, this is just x's, and this is our numbers. Nothing is missing, so I don't need any zeros. So I'm going to bring down the 1, multiply. Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. I add, I get 3. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. And I add and I get 0. That's my remainder. Alright, so this was x squared, so this is x. This is 1x plus 3. Remember, you go 1 degree less, and then you keep taking off an x until you get down to your remainder. If there were a remainder, now there's not, then I would say like plus whatever my remainder is over my divisor. But you don't need that because that was 0. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, write that down. Okay, you could circle one of the problems, and then we can go over that problem in class, right, if there's anything that was confusing.